Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait.
What's going on, move makers? If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Moriah and I'm a flight attendant for a major airline. Alrighty, you guys, so we're actually on call today, or we're on our A days, and so I'm on a stretch of 3 days. And yesterday I wasn't called, I wasn't used at all, so I was at home still getting paid, girl. And then this morning they called me at 8 o'clock this morning for a 10:25 report. So it's 9:32 right now. I'm about to go ahead and get ready to go because somebody said that the buses are taking the long route, and I'm just like, oh no, we don't have time for that, because that just adds like another 10-15 minutes, and you know, we gotta make sure we're there on time. Y'all, I didn't have time to do anything. Like, I just got like some fruit. I didn't even have time to like fill up my water bottle. It's definitely a little empty, so I'm gonna have to fill that up once I get to the airport. But today we only have 2 legs, so we're going from Atlanta to Orlando to Boston, and then we'll be there laying over. And then tomorrow is like super easy, so I can't wait to tell you guys about that. But for right now, let's go ahead and hurry up and get to this airport. What's going on, move makers? We have finally made it to Boston, thank goodness. But first off, oh my gosh, when I tell you, I was terrified when I came into my room because I saw a crib in here, which, okay, first off, very cool that they provide that to families who have little ones. But when I tell you, I was terrified because I've never seen that in a hotel room. And I was just like, why is this in my hotel room? Like, oh my gosh, like, ooh, it was super crazy. But luckily I did just call downstairs and they were like, hey, like, we'll get somebody from house cleaning to go ahead and remove that from you. And I was just like, thank you, because I just can't imagine going to sleep and then it's just sitting there, like, no. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna catch you up in a little minute. I'm about to go ahead and get dressed and get ready for the gym, so I will see you guys in a bit. What's going on, move makers? Clearly you can tell I am ready for bed, but I just want to get on and tell y'all real quick just everything that had happened today. Okay, so really crazy, my flight leader was telling me how she saw that I posted this trip and somebody else had posted this trip for a drop. And she says she was originally waiting to pick up my position because I'm working a regular position, and then the other position she picked up was the flight leader, of course. So she was waiting for mine because she is based in Minneapolis. So whenever you're trying to pick up a trip outside of your base, you have to wait for a certain time limit, and then it's open to you to pick up. So she was waiting like 14-15 minutes or whatever for my trip to be available to her. But I remember I took my trip off the board because I was like, well, it's really not a hard trip and I need to work anyway, so I might as well just do it now so I don't have to do it later, you know. And I was just thinking that's so crazy because she was like, no, I was really gonna pick up your trip. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I could have just been at home. But as great as that sounds, like, I need to work. So I was just like, dang, that's crazy. But, you know, it all worked out in the end. Of course, as you guys seen, I was working in the galley. Our flight to Orlando was pretty cool, but it was really, really bumpy. Our pilots did call back and say, oh, like, you guys should be good, da-da-da. So I did set up for us to go out and do service. And literally, by the time I got to the second person, we were like wobbling around and all types of stuff. I was like, y'all. And luckily my flight lead, like, she definitely can tell that we were like, nah, I don't think we should do this. And so she made the announcement for us to tell everybody that we are going back to stow our carts for our safety. And so I'm just glad that worked out as well, because I was just like, oh my gosh. And literally the moment we went back to stow our carts, it got even more bumpier. It was insane. But we worked together to make sure that, like, okay, we dumped the coffees and you close this cart, you put this back in the Atlas. Like, we were really working together and we got it done so that we could all be safe. Once we got to Orlando though, we did have a 3-hour sit, which I did not know, and I didn't notice that until we landed. And I will have to say, like, Orlando, y'all's airport is insane. Like, there's just people everywhere, and there was not enough seats for people. Like, literally, they'll be boarding a flight and you're like, okay, these people are gonna get up and go to that flight or whatever. But it was like they would quickly like migrate, and like it would just be more people sitting over there. And then you're just like, how are people still sitting here when I thought you were boarding the flight? But it's just like, it's so many people that there's nowhere to sit. It's just a lot. So I was definitely glad when our plane pulled up and started deplaning, because I was like, please hurry so I can hurry up and get down, because it was just too many people. But our flight to Boston was also really smooth. Honestly, I feel like it went by really fast. It was only like 2 hours and like 23 minutes, I think it was 2:23, yeah. And it was really good. Like, we did have some needy passengers, but you know, it is what it is. We made it through, and luckily our hotel wasn't far, so we are now in the hotel just relaxing. The gym was also really good. It had the basic things that I needed, so we got a good little workout in, ate good. And y'all, I am just chilling. I'm honestly about to, like, you see, I'm about to go to bed because I'm tired, and we have to wake up early so we can get on our deadhead back home. And yes, you guys, you heard me correctly. We are deadheading back home, which is so nice, because honestly, like, that's why I thought this trip was so nice. Like, we do all the work today, and then tomorrow we just go home, and that's it. And you know what's really crazy too? If we didn't have this 3-hour sit in Orlando, and if we went to Boston straight away, we would have been able to get a flight back to Atlanta, because the last flight leaving from Boston back to Atlanta left at like 6:45. Y'all, we landed at like 6:30, but we were deplaning, so it took about like 20 minutes to deplane, so we weren't completely done until like 6:50, and that's when the plane was like taking off. And I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. But it is what it is. We're still getting home, and it's gonna be early. But all right, you guys, I know that was a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead, get some rest. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2, and that is about it. That's all I can think of right now. I feel like I was gonna say something else, but I can't remember. If I do remember, you know I'm gonna tell y'all. So I will see you guys in the morning. What's going on, move makers? Okay, as you guys can tell, we are not back in Atlanta. I was supposed to be back in Atlanta, I think at like 8 in the morning, and I got a call at 4:45, which is the exact time I was gonna wake up for our report time. And they ended up rerouting me and my crew. So one of our crew members, our most junior girl, she's on a whole different trip. I don't even know where she went. And then my crew, the rest of us, 3 of us, because we're going to be on an Airbus 220, so that's only a required 3 flight attendants, we are now doing 3 legs. So we're going from Boston to LaGuardia back to Boston, and then we're going to deadhead from Boston to Atlanta, and that is it. I'm not gonna lie, I was like trying to not keep my hopes up too high, because I was like, well, they can call at any time, but still, I was like, dang, it would have just been so good to just dead at home. But honestly, you guys, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I am nervous, because the weather is really bad in Atlanta. There's a lot of storms, tornadoes. I think we just got cleared with tornado warnings. And then of course we're going to LaGuardia, in which y'all know how I feel about New York, and I'm sorry for my New Yorkers. It's nothing personal, I swear, but it's just like something always goes wrong in New York, and it's just like, I don't want anything to go wrong to where I can't go home. So that's the only thing, but we're gonna be positive. We're gonna, you know, still just breathe and just get through this. But as you guys already know, we're gonna go ahead and get ready for this airport. We got this regardless of what happens. I would keep you guys updated, but let's go ahead and get ready to go. What's going on, move makers? I have finally made it back home. So as you guys seen, our reroute did get canceled. While we were sitting at the Boston airport, we were looking at everything. We're just like, what's going on with this flight? Because previously that flight was supposed to go at like 6 p.m. yesterday, and they got canceled and pushed back until we were now supposed to be responsible for that flight. So we look at the numbers and we're like, wait, it looks like there's only 3 passengers on the flight. And we're like, well, why would we do that? Because typically when the load is that extremely light, we try to get them on a different flight and we usually just cancel it. So I was kind of confused, and then I'm like, okay, well, where is our plane? Our plane isn't even here. Then the mechanics were telling us not to board anything because they were still trying to wait for the all clear because the flight had a mechanical issue, and that's why I didn't even take off the previous day. So I'm like, wait, hold on. You're telling me that we got rerouted for a flight that we're not even sure is really going to take off? And at that moment, I will be honest, I was getting frustrated because I was just like, we should have made sure that the flight was actually going to go, that there was actually passengers on the flight, that the mechanical issue was resolved before rerouting us. Because now we were just sitting there in Boston, not doing anything, not getting paid, and we weren't sure if we're going to be able to get deadheaded back on the next available flight back to Atlanta. As you guys know, we always stay positive over here, and so I'm so glad it worked out how it should, and they did end up canceling the flight because I believe the mechanical issue never got resolved, and I think they were actually waiting for a part. So once that was cleared off our schedule, the only thing that we were left to do was the deadhead. So we were able to call scheduling, they put us on the next available flight, and then we were on our way, and I was so happy. And the crew before us were just super nice. They're like, hey, like, we have leftover meals because the turbulence was super bad from all those storms, so they couldn't even do a meal service. So they're just like, well, they're just here if you guys want them. And we're like, yes, because we were so focused on what was going on with our flight, like we didn't even think about getting breakfast because we didn't know if they're going to change us to something else or whatever the case was. So it was just really nice of them, and I greatly appreciate that because we were starving. Because honestly, we've all been up since like 4 something this morning since crew scheduling had called us, and at that point, like, yeah, it was time to eat. But anyway, you guys, of course we made it home, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm enjoying a couple of these days off. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I post next. And don't forget to leave me a comment below. And also check out my social media. And always remember, when you make a move, make sure it's for you. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Catch me if I fall.